Officials say there have been 2 lockdowns since the start of this school year. Now, Lafayette Parish says they don't have numbers of threats or lockdowns available to share at this point. However, we have reported a half dozen. We also asked Lafayette Parish officials about making up for lost time because of these threats and lockdowns. We're told additional time is built into the academic calendar for unforeseen events, and it's too early in the school year to know if any additional time will be necessary. Also, the Lafayette Parish School Board will vote tomorrow on supplemental pay for teachers. The proposal from the Blue Ribbon Committee is that eligible teachers will get a $3,600 check. There is also a $500 salary increase that would be funded by the 2022 half-cent sales tax fund. Also on tomorrow's agenda, the board will discuss buying a part of the old Walmart on the Evangeline Thruway for the expansion of the General and Food Services warehouse. Tomorrow's meeting gets started at 5:30.
Some job seekers are waiting for a call back after the Diversity Job Fair today in Lafayette. That job fair was held at the Hyman Center this morning. The goal was to create opportunities to connect employers with diverse candidates they may not see at other events, including the elderly, those with disabilities, and some who have criminal backgrounds.
The main purpose of the job fair, of course, is open to the public and free to everyone. But we'd like to mainly focus on the diverse workforce in the area, which consists of people with disabilities, ex-offenders who normally have been underrepresented in the workforce for quite some time now.
A reminder, the Lafayette Fire Department is hosting a series of events in support of this year's Fire Prevention Week campaign. It's Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape. Until Friday, the department will have fire safety classes at the Central Fire Station from 8 until 10 a.m. The goal of the week is to stress the importance of fire safety and ensure that you and your family have a plan in case of a fire. Today was the deadline to register to vote in person or by mail for the November 8th election. The deadline to register online through GoVote is next Tuesday, October 18th, and you can check your voter registration status online or at your parish's Registrar of Voters office.
Here's Rob's 24-hour forecast.
Another beautiful day across Acadiana. Nice cool start. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Got up to 86 to 88 degrees in Lafayette. Currently, most of us sitting in the mid 80s at this hour, 85 degrees. Meanwhile, the news of the day, at least in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, parts of moisture left over from Hurricane Julia getting into the Bay of Campeche and developing pretty quickly this afternoon, becoming Tropical Storm Carl with 40-mile-per-hour winds. This system is going to stay bottled up in the southwestern Gulf, so no threat to Louisiana nor the U.S. at this point. Overnight tonight, temperatures dropping down much milder, upper 60s to lower 70s. We'll go about 70 the low tonight. Tomorrow we'll get into the mid 80s with a pretty good chance of scattered showers and a few thunderstorms in the mix, especially late morning through the afternoon hours, and then maybe even some rain chances around midnight tomorrow night. Not much rain, but a little bit in the forecast. Thereafter, it's a dry one as we head into the weekend, and we'll talk a little bit more about a stronger front in that 10-day forecast and have the complete True View forecast coming up in just a bit.
In Florida, the major search for victims of Hurricane Ian is now over. The focus now on recovery. Over 42,000 utility workers have been working to restore power. There are just about 6,000 customers left without power in Florida. That's down 2.7 million in the immediate aftermath of the storm. Economists say tens of thousands are likely to file for unemployment benefits in the wake of the storm, with the state of Florida, which took the brunt of Ian, as we know, suffering the biggest impact. Early estimates show Ian could be the most costly hurricane to ever make landfall in that state. The tourism industry is especially hard hit. Economists say if workers don't come back, those areas will struggle to rebound.
Now to the latest on Russia's war in Ukraine. After a second day of deadly attacks on civilian targets, Western leaders are reaffirming their commitments to Ukraine. ABC's
Justin Finch has more on today's G7 talks.
Ukraine on high alert again after a second day of Russian missile attacks striking during morning rush hour.
Today, 18 cruise missiles and 8 kamikaze drones were down by Ukrainian forces.
Ukraine saying they've been able to intercept a number of the Russian missiles. Still, more than a dozen Ukrainian citizens have been killed and more than 100 others wounded. Civilian centers, parks, and playgrounds left smoldering in ruins.
I just come to see how it looks like, and It's terrifying, honestly.
Ukraine's President Zelensky meeting virtually with G7 leaders, including President Biden, pressing for more air defense systems to counter Russian airstrikes and for tougher sanctions on the Kremlin. Zelensky underscoring he does not believe successful peace talks are possible with Russian President Putin. The U.S. and the G7 pledging to stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. NATO's Secretary General says the alliance is closely watching Russia amid Putin's nuclear threats.
Any deliberate attack against allies' critical infrastructure would be met with a united and determined response.
Today, Putin met with the head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog agency, claiming he's open to discussing concerns about the Russian-controlled Zaporizhzhia power plant. That visit coming amid reports a deputy head of that plant has been kidnapped by Russian forces and is being detained in an unknown location. Not far from the besieged Zaporizhzhia plant, at the center of today's meeting between Putin and the UN nuclear watchdog, President Zelensky is reporting at least 7 were killed tonight in another Russian air assault. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
And still ahead right here on Acadiana's News Channel at 5, one of the largest railroad unions says a recent deal does not do enough. The 2 things that need to be addressed before a potential strike coming up.
And scattered showers in the forecast tomorrow. Much cooler temperatures toward the end of the 10-day forecast, but the tropics are heating up. We'll have all the latest coming up right after the break.
Scams, they're everywhere. Whether it be by phone or over the internet, crooks are trying to get your hard-earned money. You need to be aware of local scams as well. Detectives with the Acadia Parish Sheriff's Office are currently investigating a scam which occurred in the Mermentau area of Acadia Parish. 3 suspects went to the victim's residence offering to repair the victim's cracked driveway. A price was agreed upon. Once the work was completed, the suspects provided a price for 5 times the agreed upon amount. The elderly victim was intimidated by the suspects and paid the increased amount out of fear. One of the suspects has been identified as Leroy Williams. Williams is a black male, 60 years of age. He is 5'11" in height and weighs 145 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. His last known address is 450 Castile Street in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. An arrest warrant has been issued for him. If you know the whereabouts of Leroy Williams, you're urged to call the tips line at 789-TIPS or download our P3 app on your mobile device to report your tip anonymously. All calls will remain anonymous and can receive up to a $1,000 cash reward for information leading to Williams' arrest. Be the difference. For Crime Stoppers of Acadia Parish, I'm Sheriff K.P. Gibson.
If you have any information on this crime, call Crime Stoppers at 789-TIPS. You could earn up to a $1,000 cash reward. From the KATC Weatherland, here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, another nice day across the area, but eventually some tropical moisture will be coming out of the Gulf of Mexico, plus a new tropical storm down in the Bay of Campeche. Not unusual for October, and that's not going to be impacting us whatsoever, so that is the good news there. So let's kick it upstairs and take a look at that water vapor imagery. And we still have a relatively dry flow across the region, but we have a little bit more of an active subtropical jet stream that is pushing through portions of Texas and Arkansas, and that's going to be moving eastward. Meanwhile, some tropical moisture is getting drawn northward as high pressure comes in, and this is going to keep this system down here bottled up in the Bay of Campeche. Plus, we have more fronts on the way, strong upper level winds, so we're not worried about any kind of tropical system impacting us. Generally, mostly sunny skies. We do see clouds down to the south. They're going to try to move in overnight tonight. Some showers off to our north and west, but not a whole lot. Dusting off Power Doppler 3, we're picking up on a few isolated showers, mainly north of Vernon Parish, up toward Natchitoches, but locally pretty quiet in our region. Just a little bit of ground clutter there. Now, meanwhile, we get down into the Gulf of Mexico, the southwestern Gulf, and we had a nice bursting of showers and storms earlier today, and weak low pressure developed. Hurricane hunters went down here, found enough organization to warrant this to become Tropical Storm Carl. We went from a 10% chance of that developing yesterday morning to 80% later today, around 2 this afternoon, and then by 4 o'clock officially a tropical storm. 40-mile-per-hour winds moving to the northwest at about 6. Barometric pressure not too terribly low, and this has a limited future. It's not going to intensify a whole lot. May get up to about 50-mile-per-hour winds. It's going to meander down in the southern Gulf, eventually heading into the state of Veracruz, north and west of the city of Veracruz. Some locally heavy rainfall eventually for portions of Mexico, but not here locally. And the graph model does a very good job with these tropical systems, showing something that develops and then it kind of meanders around, drops back down to the south, and the latest model run brings a system back inland, south and east of the Veracruz area, or very near that. So we'll see how it plays out, but some heavy rain possible down here. Meanwhile, locally for us, we're going to see fair to partly cloudy skies overnight tonight through tomorrow morning, then scattered showers developing during the course of the day. Rain chance at about 60%. Some folks may catch a little bit of a downpour. Most won't get much more rain than enough to settle the dust for a day or two. Remember, you got a quarter-inch of rain this time of year. It evaporates pretty much in about a day or two. It dries out quickly, and we've been dry and dusty. So not enough rain out there, but enough to settle some of the dust. Maybe another round of showers as we head into tomorrow night, but not a whole lot. And then by Thursday, we're back to sunny, breezy, and not so cool conditions. We'll be in the upper 80s for Thursday afternoon, but Thursday night, we'll see our readings getting back down into the mid-50s. But overnight tonight, we're going to hold it upper 60s to near 70 for a low. You can see rainfall, most of us quarter inch or less. There's going to be lots of variability. A few spots may catch an inch of rain if you're lucky, but most of us don't see a whole lot of rain. And here your temperatures milder indeed, upper 60s to near 70 for a low, mid 80s for a high tomorrow. Tomorrow night back down into the upper 60s to lower 70s, so a little bit more air conditioner in your future over the next couple of days. Upper 80s on Thursday, but a little bit of a cool down on the way as we head into the weekend. So overnight tonight, we're going to go about 70 for the low, so certainly a milder night ahead. Maybe a shower or two, but not likely. Maybe a sprinkle. We'll go 10, perhaps 20% with that hunter's moon, that waning hunter's moon ducking through some of the clouds. Then tomorrow, scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. The model likes sometime around mid-morning, and then perhaps in the mid-hours as well. We'll go 86 for your afternoon high with rain chances up 50-60% range. Again, not a washout of a day, just some nuisance showers, but we do need the rain. 88 the high on Thursday, but at least we have some blue triangles coming on through, so a little bit cooler at night. Pretty nice going into the weekend, although above normal temperatures for daytime highs for festivals Acadian. Few showers for Sunday. Monday, better rain chances, and here we go. Look at these temperatures here, upper 60s to lower 70s, and overnight lows dipping down into the really fall-like mid-40s for the middle part of next week. Something to look forward to there. That's it for weather for now. We're going to have more coming up right after the break.